Prince Charles has devastating news for the royal family. Heads will roll. Prince Charles will make some major changes to the royal family when he becomes king. According to reports, Prince Charles, 71, wants to cut down on the number of working royals who earn a wage from the crown. The future king is planning to strip back the family to include only himself and his wife Camilla Parker Bowles, and his children Princes William and Harry, and their wives. The wild changes come in the wake of the scandal surrounding Prince Andrew, Charles' brother, and his links to convicted U.S. pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. While Charles has long been reported as wanting to slim down the royal family, Andrew's scandal is believed to have accelerated his plans, reports the Daily Star. Details were said to be spoken about with when the Prince of Wales met his father Prince Philip at Sandringham last week, where the pair are believed also to have discussed the Queen's retirement in the next 18 months, according to Daily Mail. If this happens, Charles could take on a Prince Regent role, which would see him taking over family affairs and the handling of day-to-day business from his mother. Charles' decision also comes as the UK's Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn spoke out to say he thinks the royal family is too big. Speaking to Sky News, he said, "I do think the question of the size of the family and all that they do. But I do think the public as a whole would want to see those kind of changes." And the debate around the behaviour of Prince Andrew has actually brought that to the fore. When asked specifically if he thought the family was too big, "So you think it's a bit too big," he responded, "Well, I think there's a lot of people attached to the royal family. Prince Charles is pathetic. A new book has placed all of Prince Charles' inadequacies on the table. Who would want to be Prince Charles? Certainly not anyone who watched the last season of The Crown, which depicted his sometimes harsh and cruel childhood, with his father Prince Philip banishing him to a Scottish boarding school that he has subsequently described as hell on earth." As we all know, things didn't get much better when the future king made it to adulthood. He apparently fumbled his first chance to marry his one true love, Camilla, back when it was a really good idea. He then helped to ruin the life of a young and naive Diana Spencer by marrying her under unimaginable pressure, again from his father. It seems fairly certain that Charles and Diana never really knew each other to any great depth before they married. They had little in common and a large age gap. And it's debatable whether Charles ever truly loved her in the way a husband should. His subsequent happy marriage to Camilla seems to indicate that his heart was only ever in one place. A new book, Rebel Prince: The Power, Passion and Defiance of Prince Charles by Tom Bower, has cast a new spotlight on Charles and shown the highly unpleasant dramas, some very much self-created, that have plagued his life. According to the book, when Charles finally plucked up courage to approach Her Majesty the Queen about welcoming Camilla into the family, the usually mild-mannered monarch vented her anger about the relationship after having a few martinis, and even reportedly described Camilla as "that wicked woman," adding, "I want nothing to do with her." The book describes Charles as being so stung by the comment, as well as the following hostile silence, that he fled the room. That little incident speaks volumes about the tortured Windsor family dynamic, and the way Charles has been at the whim of his parents' feelings even well into adulthood. Yes, the unpleasant Camilla soap opera was one of Charles's own making. But how many other adult men are so beholden to what their mothers think? He is a man trapped by his own position, held back in ways that ordinary people could hardly imagine. But he is also often his own worst enemy. It's the Camilla drama that has most stained Charles's reputation with the public. Although Diana was a complicated and often tortured character, people will always love her for the things she got so very right. Her compassion, her love, her common touch and her empathy. New details in Bauer's book will make very unpleasant reading for many D fans. The author sensationally alleges that a hostile Camilla decorated the toilet in her country home with unflattering cartoons of Diana during the height of the women's rivalry over Charles. Bauer claims Camilla apparently defended her affair with Charles by saying she was only guilty of having one extramarital lover, before allegedly making the distasteful allegation that Diana was working her way through the Life Guards. For her part, claims Bauer, Diana could only see one reason why Charles wanted to be with his less attractive mistress. Charles is obsessed by Camilla's T***s, and I haven't got T***s as big as Camilla's, she supposedly told one journalist. Why did Diana feel that Charles had so little regard for her as a person and as a wife, that he would be swayed by a pair of breasts? Clearly, Dee and Charles were temperamentally unsuited as a couple. And while Charles must take a lot of the blame for agreeing to marry Diana without knowing her well enough, and for proceeding with marriage while apparently still in love with Camilla, he's lived a life few of us can imagine. Just think about what it would be like to be surrounded by the machinery of royal life, family, courtiers and even politicians, all pushing hard for you to marry, and quickly. An indecisive or wounded soul would be easily manipulated into making a very bad choice. When Diana finally took her complaints about her sad and tragic marriage to the public in her famous 1995 Panorama TV interview, Camilla became pubic enemy number one. It was then that she and Charles plotted with a PR guru to save their reputations, as Charles's approval rating hit rock bottom. Camilla apparently feared the public backlash against their affair meant that he would never be king. According to Bauer, Camilla seemed to be in the driver's seat amid the PR push, allegedly telling her press team, "Never push Charles too hard. Always remember his terrible childhood, and how he was bullied at school and by his parents," she said. Just reflect on those words for a moment, a deep observation of Charles's character from the one person who truly knows him.
What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment box below and don't forget to subscribe to get instant news updates.